new TV news for Wednesday, and here is your headlines. A Nepal earthquake aid efforts stepped up. International efforts to bring aid to Nepal are stepped up as the death toll from Saturday's devastating earthquake reaches 3,726. It's a horrible one that happened, but it didn't just happen in Nepal. It happened in Mount Everest. An avalanche happened, and a few people have got caught in there. BBC News has a few pictures of it, and we're going to show it up.
Oh! Oh! No! Come under my jacket.
Everest is more than 200 kilometres from the earthquake epicentre, but still the tremor has caused the worst disaster ever on the mountain. At just before noon on Saturday, hundreds of climbers were spread out at Camp 2 here, lower down at Camp 1, traversing the Khumbu icefall, and at Base Camp. The earthquake triggered a hanging glacier to shear off this ridge between the two peaks of Pumori and Lingtren to the west of Base Camp. The avalanche of ice and rock plunged down the slope, straight through the middle of Base Camp, flattening dozens of tents. At least 17 people are confirmed dead so far, with more than 60 injured. The most seriously hurt climbers have been flown by helicopter down the valley to Farish village, the nearest medical facility. From there, they're being transferred to Kathmandu for further treatment.
Now, the Super Teddy video game is set to be launched in May, though loads of work is going to have to be done for it. I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to make sure that it will be really good on the last level. Well, I hope so. But anyway, that is not the most important news. Some important news is that James Goulding and I have done the game show, and oh my god, it's absolutely amazing. We're on episode 2 now, so I'll show you a glimpse of episode 1.
No one wants to waste their money on FIFA points, because there's been experiments on YouTube showing that coins get you better packs. Yeah. So I think that's all I've got to say on FIFA right now. But EA need to fix this up, because if it's not fixed by FIFA 16, if they keep the price range on, no one's going to buy the game, because everyone knows you can't be good at Ultimate Team anymore.
This is the same with Atari years ago, what Atari did, because Atari was a great team. They made the first video game in the world, Pong, and it was absolutely brilliant. And then they made a game called E.T. the Extraterrestrial with Universal Pictures. It was the worst game in the world, even though it's worth a lot of money. It was the worst game in the world, and most people dumped the game in a place in Mexico, or New Mexico, which was absolutely disgraceful by Atari. It made the video game crash, and it's Atari's fault, really. If Nintendo was never made the Super Mario Brothers series, we would have never had video games back. And maybe if EA is still doing that, EA might have a video game crash. Now, Jules Bianchi, former Formula 1 driver. Now, the reason how he's now a former Formula 1 driver was because he had a head injury. Now, his father has said nothing good has happened. He's still in terrible conditions, which is such a shame, because he was a good driver and a nice man. So is Michael Schumacher. He's now, crying whenever he hears or maybe his children, which is such a sad one. The hashtags are still available to use. Now, I remember that it was really sunny out this April, but now it's gotten a little bit bad. I'm now going to do the weather update.